The day the emperor should have executed his greatest enemy. He raised a cup instead, and in that single moment, every heart in the empire stopped. The battlefield was still, too still. The wind moved slowly through broken banners, carrying the smell of ash, iron, and silence. King Lu stood on his knees, the same man who once ruled the south with unshaken pride, now surrounded by soldiers who did not fear him. His armor was cracked, his sword and his fate already decided, or so he believed. Chains tightened around his wrists, but Lu barely felt them, because for the first time in years, he felt something unfamiliar. Not of death, but of the man standing before him. Emperor Sung, untouched, not a drop of blood on his robes, as if war itself had bowed before him. The generals watched closely. The court officials whispered. This was the moment, the final act, the execution of a king. Lu lowered his head. So, this is how it ends. His voice was hoarse. I fought you for years. A bitter laugh escaped him. And in the end, I never even saw you strike. Silence followed. Sung stepped forward slowly. Echoed like judgment. Lu clenched his fists. Do it. His voice cracked. End it. But the blade never came. A servant approached, carrying a golden tray. On it, a single cup of wine. The court froze. Even the wind seemed to stop. Lu looked up, confused. A drink. No one spoke. The servant knelt, holding the cup toward him. Lu's breath grew heavy. Every story he had ever heard, every tale of fallen kings, flooded his mind. Poison, a quiet death, a dignified end. No blood, no spectacle, just silence. Lu stared at the cup. His hands trembled. So this was it. Not a sword, not a battle, but a sip, a final surrender. He laughed, but there was no joy in it. So even in death, you control everything. The court shifted uncomfortably. No one dared interrupt. Lu reached for the cup. His fingers shook. For the first time, his pride wavered. Images flashed in his mind. His kingdom, his people, his past victories, and his failures. All of it ending here. His grip tightened. Then suddenly, he stopped. His hand froze midair. No! His voice dropped. I cannot. The court gasped softly. Some remained still, watching. Lu's breathing became uneven. I thought I feared nothing, but I was wrong. He looked up, directly into Sung's eyes. I am afraid. The words echoed through the court. Unfiltered. Admitting fear. Unthinkable. But Lu didn't stop. I am guilty. Silence deepened. I rebelled. I defied the throne. I caused suffering. His voice broke. I thought strength meant never bowing. Tears filled his eyes. But now, I see it. His head lowered. I was wrong. The court held its breath. Spare me. The words came out like a whisper. I will accept any punishment. Just let my people live. For a moment, time itself seemed to pause. Every eye turned to the emperor, waiting, judging, expecting one thing. Sung stepped forward, slowly, calmly. He took the cup from the servant. All eyes followed the movement. This was it, the final act. Lu closed his eyes, ready, prepared, accepting. But then, a single sound broke the silence. A sip. Lu's eyes snapped open. The court gasped, because the emperor had raised the cup and drank it himself. No poison, no death, just wine. The moment shattered everything. Confusion spread like wildfire. Lu stared, unable to speak. Why? His voice trembled. Sung lowered the empty cup. There was never any poison. The words echoed. Simple, but impossible. Lu's heart pounded. Then why offer it to me? Sung's gaze softened, just slightly, to see your truth. The court murmured. Truth? Lu struggled to understand. You already defeated me. Why test me now? Sung stepped closer. Because victory is not control. His voice was steady. Trust is. The room fell silent again. Lu's breath caught. Trust? After everything? You trust me? The question sounded absurd. Sung didn't hesitate. Yes. The word landed like thunder. Lu shook his head. I tried to destroy your empire. And yet, Sung's voice cut through his doubt. You surrendered. The pause. Not to me, but to yourself. Those words hit deeper than any blade. Lu's shoulders dropped. For the first time, he felt something break inside him. Not pride, not fear. Something heavier. Guilt, relief, and something else he had not felt in years. The chains around his wrists were removed. The sound of metal hitting the ground echoed like freedom. The court stared in disbelief. From this day forward, Sung's voice rose slightly. King Lu is no longer an enemy. The pause. He is an ally. Gasps filled the hall. Unthinkable. A rebel king? Restored? Honored? Lu couldn't move. He looked at his hands. Free. You would give me back everything? Sung shook his head. No. The tension returned. Lu's heart dropped. But then, I will give you more. Days later, the empire celebrated. For the first time, North and South stood united. Festivals filled the streets. Music echoed through the capital. And at the center of it all, stood two men. Once enemies, now allies. But not everyone smiled. Behind silk curtains, whispers grew. This is madness. A minister slammed his hand on the table. You cannot trust a man like him. Another nodded. Today he bows. Tomorrow he betrays. Fear had not disappeared. It had only changed shape. Lady May stood quietly among them, listening, watching, because deep down, even she had doubts. That night, she found Sung alone. You gave him everything. Her voice was calm, but tense. You risked everything. Sung poured himself tea. I gained everything. May stepped closer. Or you planted the seed of your own destruction. Silence. Sung smiled. If he betrays me, the pause. He was never mine to begin with. May studied him. You're playing a dangerous game. Sung's eyes darkened slightly. No. His voice dropped. I already know how it ends. Far away, in a forgotten corner of the empire, a hidden chamber flickered with candlelight. A man sat in the shadows. Once a king, now something else. His fingers tightened around a scroll. The southern king has fallen. A servant whispered, and joined the emperor. The man smiled slowly. Of course he did. His voice was cold. That is what Sung does. He stood, steps echoing through the chamber. He doesn't destroy his enemies. He turns them. The servant hesitated. Then, what do we do? The man stopped, and for the first time, his face emerged from the shadows. Cold eyes, burning with hatred. We don't fight him. The pause. We become something he cannot control. Back in the palace, celebrations continued. Laughter, music. But Sung stood alone on the balcony, watching the stars. Lady May approached quietly. It's done. Sung didn't respond. He trusts you now. Still silence. And the empire is finally at peace. Sung closed his eyes. Peace. He repeated softly, as if testing the word. He opened his eyes again, and something in them changed. Not yet. May frowned. What do you mean? Sung turned slightly. There's one more. A chill ran through her. More through what? Sung's voice dropped. King. At that exact moment, far beyond the palace walls, the hidden king stepped into the firelight, holding a cup. He stared at it and smiled. Let's see if the emperor. His grip tightened. We'll drink this one. Back at the palace, Sung whispered into the night. I already know. Somewhere deep in the shadows, something moved. Something that even trust could not tame. To be continued.